Does Rahk say anything?
Rock's gonna kind of scrutinize Charlie on this one a little bit.
Sure.
Because I feel like we're getting kind of the screws are being put to us,
Okay.
so to speak.
Cort thinks this is a fair and just price. He's like, hell yeah, dude. You could have also said 6 gold, and he would have been like, oh, hell yeah, dude.
I'll give you 2 kappa.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
So hit him with it. Let's see the scrutiny from Rahk.
45 gold seems meager for something you, frankly, reacted quite shockingly to.
I'm afraid it's a bit more valuable than that, and would be even more so if it weren't broken. But as it stands, it is just a beautiful wooden box.
Is there anyone in town who could fix it?
If you happen to know a very talented smith and keymaker, you'd be able to.
Fucking idiot.
But this takes delicate hands.
Well, I don't think I know anyone who could do that.
I tell you what, let us hang on to it for a few more days, and perhaps we will make a return.
Very well, if you are able to, with small discourse and damage to the box, because admittedly, when you repair these, it will cause a small amount of damage. If you're able to repair it without completely destroying the piece, I would be happy to offer 100 gold. Mistress Sasha would also validate this purchasing process. Our acquisitions will be found never higher by another.
Cort's gonna kind of eyeball it and then pick it up way more carefully than he had handed it to him before and say, all right, we'll see if we can get this fixed then. Thank you very much, Charlie.
Be very delicate with this, as this is at least 400 or 500 years old.
He's gonna kind of hold it closer to him.
Good.
We'll be back in a few days, okay?
By and large, what are you doing later?
Well, I have to clean the bathhouse later. And I think I have to look for Ulhime, but I think that's all we have.
And what of you, Mr. Rock likes chicken tamales?
You can just call me Rock.
Ooh. Like that. It makes me feel things.
There's nothing attractive about a rock.
You'd be surprised.
Well, I believe we'll be taking our leave now.
Do I make you uncomfortable, Mr. Rock?
Absolutely.
As I should. As I should. But one does not know the many pleasantries of Charlie and Mr. Sasha. Come back to the Shining Tome anytime.
We'll say our thank yous and take our leave, and then we're then likely head on our way over to Mr. Keegan Elves.
As you turn, he doesn't quite escort you to the door. He finds himself in a situation where he is almost shammering back to the curtain. This is very unlike Charlie.
Yeah.
And the few times you've met him, he has been keen to show you in and out.
And out. Yeah.
And in and out.
He's the kind of he's the kind of person who likes to watch you walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as you take a few steps away, he finds himself to the rear curtain and exits outside of your view. Before you even finish making it to the door,
yeah,
you say anything, you do anything. There's nobody else immediately around. The music didn't continue to play.
No, because I have a feeling Sasha's still not happy at what I said. I have a feeling he has to go deal with that, which is why he's in such a clamor.
Anything from you, Rahk?
Tempting, but Charlie creeps me out too much, so I'm just gonna keep walking.
Sure. The moment your hand reaches the door itself, it happens again. Another quick boom, and it echoes throughout your feet.
Gonna mosey on out of there.
Okay.
Alright, I'm about to head out.
All right. As you exit the establishment, the moment that you shut the door, all returns back to the way it was before you entered. In fact, you even hear the slight thrum of your ever-favored danger bongos, sir.
Yes.
Town
It's like
continues. Everything happens just the way that it normally does. Floor is still yours. They're Cort and Rahk. You share and relish in your experience. You show fear.
So did you enjoy the tome? They're all really nice there, and it's a shame you couldn't meet Miss Sasha.
I felt like that man was fucking me with his eyes at every given opportunity.
Cort's probably not going to let out as boisterous a laugh, but more of a restrained laugh. Still holding the music box. He seems to really like everyone.
Oh, he likes things, all right.
Well, when you said that you had someone we could see, where are we gonna go?
Oh, I actually just met him the other day, but Keegan Gelf.
Oh, well, I don't think I've been to a shop yet since I got to town.
Well, you introduced me to someone. Hopefully this goes a little smoother than the Shining Tome.
That's good.
Follow me.
And then Cort will mosey on through the town.
Sure. You walk a while. Cort. Normally you are used to just minding your own business.
Yeah.
People don't really make much of a fuss over you. You sort of look just like everyone else.
Yeah.
But what you weren't
Big shieldy
expecting
boy.
was the sort of response that you're getting for Rahk.
Because not elf, orc.
Yes, but very differently so. Before the attack, half-orcs were fairly frowned upon. Rahk is a bit more respected from what you can see.
Me and Rahk beat the fuck up out of a bunch of vampire people.
Perhaps. But you're stopped, both of you. There's a moment. A child runs up directly to Rahk. Rahk, you see his hand coming, balled up fist, and he's not aiming for your gut or your face.
Can I reflex and catch his fist?
You can try. He's about to hit you with 1,000 years of death.
God, I hope you nat 20 this.
Okay.
24.
Okay, you are able to catch his fist right at the last moment. You quickly deflect the wrist and grab it with the opposite hand, and Chob spins as you begin to whirl him around.
Fucking Chops.
Judy Chob.
Good name.
He looks to you and he's like, "Whoa! Whoa! I almost got you."
Almost. Keep trying, Chops. You'll get the best of me one of these days.
Have you been okay?
As okay as a bridge troll can be.
Have
Trying to
you
remember what I called myself previously.
have you eaten any maidens?
Only the finest.
I'll defeat you still.
I believe that, Chops. Now, run on to your father.
Okay. Okay. You have any food?
I'll, turn my bag and start searching through it.
Give me
Break off a
perception.
piece of...
I'm curious. Give me perception.
Break open your bag. He swings again.
He fucking
see
tries to
that-
punch you, get in the nuts.
Start looking for a snack, and he just...
You see that he's got food.
Fucking treats your sack like a punching bag.
He's wearing
Don't let him do it.
like mutton on his lips. You can tell that it's like even recently he's eaten. If you remember the description of Chops, he was a little porker.
He's
a chubby kid.
He's a chunky boy.
Yeah.
So he looks like what's his name from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Augustus Gloop. Yeah.
Yeah. Still has food on his face. God bless. Precious child.
As I search through my bag, I'll hang on. Let me actually see what I have listed as in there.
Like, nope, he can't eat wine.
I only have daggers, so I can give him one of those.
Here. So as I search through my bag, I'll bring out my notebook and pen, but not out of the bag. I'm just gonna pretend like I'm continuing to search as I write. Or just put a big IOU on the pad, rip the page out, and then hand it to him.
He looks at it. Oh. What is this? I can't eat this.
It's an AU.
What is that?
It means that I'll get you a snack later.
Oh, do you know where I live?
No.
Well, it's not far. And he turns and he kind of starts pointing to a group of buildings. I'm in the little brown one. If you see it over, can you see? Do you know what brown is?
No.
Oh, then look for the linen hanging from the rope, and I'm outside mostly. You wouldn't think it by looking at me. I'm a growing boy, but I don't know what I can do with this AU. Just come see us. And he hands it back like he's offering it to you.
No. You keep that.
But where do I keep it?
In your pocket.
I don't have pockets.
Give it to your father.
Right when you exasperated sigh, he just right in the nuts. Just drills you. Right then. That's when he hits you. In that moment of that shallow regret, he just drills you right there. And as soon as he tags you, he just starts like frolicking up. He's like, I got him! I got the drove!
Fucking beat your ass.
As I'm hunched over trying to recover, I'll kind of yell after him, Jobs!
The skip that he has, this almost like chunky skip that he hits, it immediately drops down into this like hurried run. You're still a bridge troll, so I mean he's got to watch his ass. Bridge trolls eat kids and stuff, man. So
Cort's just gonna sit there and fucking chuckle to himself.
Watch his ass. It's not like he hangs out with Charlie or anything.
He is a child.
It's okay.
I will not have you defile Chob's name like this.
Perfect. Takes a moment for you to regather yourself, but you're good again. It's not like he really hits that hard. He's still just a little kid. It's just, they're like heat seekers, man. Those fists, they know exactly where to tag. Not a lot of power, but just enough to make you be like,
Just enough to make you feel uneasy for the next hour or so afterwards.
Don't touch me. I think I'm gonna puke.
I'm good. Just stay away from me. Don't touch me. I feel like I'm vibrating.
It's that hit that just brushes the bottom. Yeah, it is.
You're just like,
enough. I think I'm gonna puke.
Apparently the hit also turns you into Elvis. Weird.
Oh, Jesus, that was the best, worst Elvis I've ever seen and heard. Please.
It was all after one too many fucking peanut butter banana sandwiches.
God, yeah.
Red, I don't want to ever hear that sound come out of you again.
That was,
and I can guarantee you, your future wife will not want to hear
that
it
was
either.
that right there was us witnessing the chromosome striking. Right there. Fucking funny. Perfect. Thank you for that.
Random chromosome strikes again.
Yeah, it does. I guess Sniper let it out of the bag.
Not even gonna think it.
Perfect.
Everyone else does Elvis in his prime.
I'm
Austin
not,
just
I'm
makes
not
an
taking
impression.
away. I'm not taking this
Austin
away
on
from
his
Austin.
on his deathbed.
Tonight is his clip.
By deathbed, you mean death toilet. But
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, exactly.
He's either enjoying the sandwich or he's regretting his decisions. Not sure yet.
Or he's barking. What the fuck was that?
Yeah. Oh man.
Sounded really Churchill than Elvis. Sound like Churchill.
Perfect.
Fuck. Cort, upon seeing Rahk get up, is just gonna kind of sit there, quietly giggling. So, bridge troll.
Keep laughing. It'll be you next time. I'll spread the word that there's another troll in town. Meaner.
His attempts at stifling his laughter is weak.
I'm sorry. It's really funny, but we can keep moving. I think.
Kid's only like 10 years younger than you two, so
Yeah.
he's like, yes, I remember when I was 8 and 9 years old. I popped my dad right in the beanbag a few times. So, you make your way to Keegan Gell's Locksmith. It's the same 2-story blackened brick building. Looks almost like the bastions outside. You can make your way in. You're familiar with the place. And you know him at this point, though he doesn't really know Cort. What do you do here? Do you knock? Do you demand to be let in? Do you go full bridge troll?
Kick down the door. We raid and pillage this.
I'll be civilized and knock.
A few knocks before you see that there is the face appearing back in the door. It's swift, and if you had not been watching, you would have guessed that it was just a feature on the door itself. And it's his face. He looks at you, Cort, before his eyes turn to Rahk. Rahk, I'm so happy to see you. Come inside. And
Did he turn into Porky Pig? What the fuck?
he quickly slams that shut, and you hear the multiple locks clicking, then the bar dropping, and another bar dropping, before he pulls it, and you can hear him like struggling against the bar that's fallen to the floor. And the gnome stands before you.
After that one.
I wasn't expecting you so soon.
Well, I wasn't exactly expecting to be here so soon, but... Well, we have something.
Cort's gonna kind of...
What is this something that you speak of? I'm interested. You seem fairly taken aback the last time you were here.
Cort's gonna present the music box without really saying anything.
He looks it over before touching it, and you hear this like coming from Starbrow from his shoulder. It's a small rat that rests on shoulder. You may have never seen anything like this before, Cort, but he still stands, and the rat is almost like looking as well up on its hind legs.
Cort's gonna kind of stare at the rat more than he's gonna stare at Keegan.
Yes, I think so too, Starbrow. It's very old. Do you have the turnkey?
I don't think so.
Out with it. Confidence.
Cort's gonna give him the box, and then he's gonna turn his bag around and kind of look for the turnkey, assuming that I won't find one.
Rocky looks to you and he's like, I thought you were sheepish. Come inside. Come on, shut the door behind you.
Cort will gladly be the last one in and then close the door behind him.
As you shut the door, you find the parlor itself. It sort of looks like an area of operation. There are clocks and locks and things all around here. Anything with mechanisms, gears of the sort he professes in. Don't mind the mess. I was not expecting any company today?
Well, we were trying to see if we could get this repaired. I found it a while ago, but we just recently showed it to someone. They said that it was broken.
Well, let's have a look. He climbs atop what looks to be almost like a standing station that supports at his waist area, and he starts to lean. You notice that there is some sort of like buckle that he wraps around himself to kind of support his body inside of it. And Starbrow jumps down to the table. You notice now that what he has declared could be a mess, it is not at all the sort. It doesn't look to be a mess even remotely. Like, this area is so clean, it's nearly an operation table.
Right.
It is pristine. He has a certain method for handling just about everything. As you can tell, everything is in the right place. There is
It
nothing...
looks super OCD.
Very much so.
It's essentially double D when you walk into his room and there's a speck of dust and he goes, "Oh God, it's fucking horrible."
And it's what you may expect out of a clockmaker, out of a locksmith. It's rather nice, very well kept. And he begins to remove various bits from this machine, from the machinery. He seems to have Starbrow take what looks to be some sort of similar key itself, moves over to a small music box, different than yours. And Starbrow ambles it in with his mouth and then climbs upon it and just starts rolling with it like he's almost rowing before it begins to play this light violin and piano mix. It's soothing, it's comforting, and you see the locksmith in his workspace. He calls him back. "Stop! Come! You're my lucky piece. Come this way." And he quickly moves to the table, climbing up the side of the apparatus that supports his body, and then up the pant leg and arm before resting again at the shoulder. You see one small ratty-like hand grab onto a tuft of hair and just kind of lean in, watching. And the gnome grabs this device that hugs the top of his head, and he takes the right side of his hand and just smashes these lenses down over his eyes. And you can see his eyes immediately come up just very bug-eyed in nature. Yeah. And this is when you see Starbrow's relationship with Keegan. He bounds down his arm to the table, and every time he seems to say a word, or somehow this like almost whispered series of words, this is when you see that Starbrow seems to gather all of the tools for him, almost like they have their own little lingo or language, and he starts breaking this thing apart. He looks up briefly for a moment. You see his eyes in different shapes and sizes. "I take it you don't have the necessary keys for this device."
Cort's still kind of like, while looking through his bag at one point, kind of stopping to stare at him working instead, immediately go back to the bag. No, I don't believe I ever found it when I found the music box.
Careless! Careless!
We were told it's 300 to 400 years old, I think. So I don't know where the key would have been when I found it.
He looks back up at you again, the eyes all weird, his mouth open. "I can tell. You don't have to tell me. It's my job to know."
Oh. He's gonna kind of just go back to staring and like...
His eyes never quite leave yours, even if he's staring at you in two different magnifications. "Oh, indeed." Then back down into his work. He works very quickly. It's despite the stumpy nature of his features, there is a care and precision to it, and he sets things off to the side. At first, it looks like a panel that was almost hidden entirely. You couldn't see any operations lines in it, but with this small, almost like screwdriver, he pulls out these older style screws. They don't really look like what you might expect, and he stands them up in a row together, and then he tilts the box upside down. There's a pause as he peers over every piece of it, never quite touching the inner mechanism itself. Then you hear him say, "Jesus, And Starbrow gets this set of tweezers that are nearly twice the size as him. And he pulls them over. He can't quite fit it into his mouth, so his tail is kind of dragging up to the side. And the man ambles around for a moment before grabbing the tweezers. And he seems to very delicately, like he's playing Operation, waiting for that buzz. And he grabs this small, cracked piece of a gear and sets it to the side. And then goes back in and grabs more of the cracked gear. And before you know it, there's probably 4 or 5 pieces that are sitting around each other. And it's probably about 1/10 of a gear size. But he points. This time he'll lean the box up to you and he points down. This here is supposed to turn, and it's not gripping here anymore. Without it, you have nothing. Just a box of gears. The memories of the maker is placed inside of every song. Likely constructed by himself. It's a thing of beauty. When you find something like this is older than myself, and likely older than my father. This is beautiful. How did you come across it?
We were in our friend Klaus's home world area. He called it Occipitous.
You, excuse you, what? You, why was this in the, abyss?
That's what Charlie asked me. Is it the abyss?
You are familiar with the abyss and its many nuanced layers. Are you not?
I kind of was asleep for most of those kind of lessons. I kind of like the physical ones more.
He lowers his face after like raising the dials around his head, and he starts smelling it. Like he runs his nose very quickly across the wood itself, and then almost depressing his nose into the mechanism. You hear this like faint, this needs oil and new gear. I believe I can fix this.
What would you want to fix it?
Well, I would like to know how much you're selling it for. Boys
I think
who
it's
carry swords and hammers are not one for carrying something of this sort. Are you giving it to a maiden, or are you trying to sell it?
Well, we didn't really find a use for it, and Charlie offered us a bit of money for it. Apparently, Miss Sasha has other ones like it.
Charlie, who is, are these,
The Shining Tome.
The Shining Tome? Driving, questionable individuals. And Starbrow kind of like...
Oh, he said that it would be 40 gold, right? Or 45, and he's gonna look to Rahk. If it's not fixed, but if it's fixed, he said, I think around 100.
I will, I will match it. And I will repair it myself. I will happily give you 100 gold now.
Cort's gonna look to Rahk. That seems like a really good deal, right?
We'll give it to you on one condition.
I don't like this. I've offered you more than you will likely acquire anywhere. And it is broken.
What's your condition, Rahk?
My condition is that you tell us what it is and why you want it so badly.
I fancy things from a year when it was easier, when things were not as immediately hard, and inventors were not challenged. They were welcomed. They were like the forefathers of creation. You must understand, this man or woman, whomever made this, is no longer alive.
Well, I don't have an issue with your deal.
Certainly can't say no to a bit of nostalgia.
So then we're agreed.
Cort's gonna hold his hand out to shake on it because that's what he's heard people do when they make deals.
Okay. And very unlike what you would expect out of him, seeing his face, even with these magnifying glasses up, sort of like it's peacocking over his head, he immediately spits in his hand and grabs yours and shakes it.
It's too late for me to pull my hand away now, so I'm just gonna... Cort's gonna kind of get like a... as he kind of locks hands. And he'll shake.
He looks down to Starbrow after 3 like serious shakes. Go on, get 100 gold. Go, fetch, grab it. I understand you're not a dog. Stop yelling at me. Just get the damn gold. And you can see Starbrow just like going hard, really upset. Takes a few moments, but you'll hear this like slide, and then another slide across wooden, and then another slide across the wooden tile, and then a drop, a plink. Rises up a series of steps that rounds the backside of the building, and that's when you'll see that Starbrow is actually dragging a bag of gold behind himself. It's wrapped up in his tail, and each time he drops down, it plinks. Takes him a moment because it's heavy. Well, you can help him. He's just a rat. It's going to take him time to get it.
Cort would gladly assist Starbrow.
As Cort's going to assist Starbrow, Rahk is going to turn to Keegan and just ask, I feel like there are many more convenient familiars than a rat.
Maybe so. Maybe so. But Starbrow has been a friend of mine for a very long time. He may not look it, but he's only a few years younger than myself. It took quite a long time to teach him the common tongue.
King Cort, try petting him.
You can try.
Would you like any kind of roll, or
You just try to like grab the bag with one hand and then try to pet downward to him?
Yeah. Well, like, you know when a cat brings you something?
Sure, yeah.
You kind of like just to let it a little...
What is your flat foot?
Oh no.
Actually, are you wearing gloves?
Yeah, I am.
What kind of gloves are you wearing?
My glowing ones. So magic gloves.
Great. So you're wearing glowing gloves and you're going to stroke a rat with it.
Well, they're clap on, clap off kind of gloves. So
I'm curious, do you take your glove off knowing that you have metal gloves and you want to pet a rat?
yeah, probably. If I were gonna do that, then yeah, I would take off my gloves.
Okay. All right. When you take off your glove and you lean down to pet him.
It's 16, by the way.
It's just static. You can take 4 points of lethal damage as he snaps up and tears away a bit of flesh from your finger.
At times.
And then you hear it. You hear as he's kind of like up and bucking around, and he, like you see Keegan turn and look. Don't pet him! No!
Cort's gonna pull his hand back. Ow! I'm sorry. He was really cute.
It's the meeting. What? He's smaller than you. You ape.
He's just gonna kind of sit there and hold his hand. I'm sorry.
What kind of company do you keep here, Rahk? What is this?
You'll have to give him some leeway. He doesn't know much about anything.
That's what I was waiting for,
Very
Karami.
well.
Cort's gonna kind of put his glove on and then bring the bag over.
All right, to catch everybody up, if you are just venturing in like Ice Laverne and everybody else, there isn't really much in the way of a quick summary of the game. This is 167 episodes, so I hope you are ready for the extended cut of all of the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit back to back, because that's probably a TLDR.
I can summarize this whole thing in one sentence.
If you meme, I'm gonna cut you from Zoom.
We're kind of the good guys, and yet we consistently fuck everything up. That is the story of this group.
It's fair. There is a lot. There's a lot that's happened in the multiple years that this game has been going on. And you could probably go back and check some of it out. But, you know, you got some time. You're going to have to invest. If you're going to start somewhere, check out episode 100.
That's where we do the full review.
I know that it's like 66, 67 episodes, but you'll get a full review of the previous 100 because we sat down an entire stream and we streamlined
it.
It's
100 episodes in one episode. Yep. Can't get a better deal than that.
True enough. And then the shenanigans happened here. Normally we are a 5-man, but tonight we're down one. And we'll probably be down one next week as well, but that's okay. I mean, your adventure is good is a relative term. Yeah, that's fair. Spooky. That's fair.
It's what we figured out last session. We're kind of the good guys. We're not the bad guys.
Okay. Anything else from Rahk and from Cort?
Cort would ask if Rahk would want to split the money, seeing as how he helped me, and if it wasn't for him, I would have only gotten 40 gold.
Okay.
And that would probably be the only interaction other than probably going back to the bathhouse.
Anything from you, Rahk?
I would definitely insist that Cort take the majority of the share, but I'll definitely take some of the money from the transaction. Aside from that, that's pretty much it.
You want the 40 that I would have been bought? 40, 60?
Sounds more fair, more than fair to me.
I'll take 40, 60 then.
Okay.
So I'll get the 60, you get 40.
Charlie's going to be quite sad, but that's okay. It's the name of the game. It happens.
I do not have 600 gold. I have 60 gold game. Thank you.
Thelsa, given that you spend the entire day doing you, making sure that you're studying, what does the next few days look like to you? Do you happen at all to venture to Dugobras?
Yeah, I likely would. I'd also try and look for my Athame again, because I was told it would be coming back to me. And, no sign of it. So.
Sure. Okay.
I don't know if I'd look for fables, or if I would just go see the party, but I know I need to head back to the bathhouse anyways, because, well, if no one's going to come talk to me about whatever dream just happened,
okay,
I'd like to get it out if it was just me, and probably look for Ulhime to have a talk with him about it.
All right. Likely that we're not going to see a whole lot more additionally out of Austin. So Red here and Explodes. So,
or if anything, we might go to the tavern and spend some of the money. Have a usually nicer than normal meal, maybe. That's about it. So yeah, I wouldn't imagine too much out of us.
Okay, sounds good. I'm assuming that Jakob is still pushing. Yes.
Yep, just riding rattles for all he's worth.
Okay. The next few nights, you're going to find that you don't get much in the way of visions. No additional dreams, no visitations from elder or older beings that look upon you. Everything is back to normal.
Thank Christ for that. Well, as normal as my dreams ever get.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the last couple of weeks have been pretty horrifying.
Definitely.
Yeah, I keep having dreams about what it was like back when I was normal.
You tend to have the same dream every time you think about when it was normal, when you were a kid. Everything moves almost archaically, like it's written in stone. Almost as if you're reading a factoid. Something to that degree. It always feels weird, but it's all you know. But that's the past. It operates strangely in your mind. And you don't happen to remember all of it, just enough to make a difference. Thelsa would be going to see Dugobras. You know that you should probably be seeking out Ulhime, but at the same time, Dugobras, his death is...
It's coming.
It's coming. And Dugobras has never done wrong by you. In fact, there was a time when he was rather smitten by you.
Yep, I still have a crush on him, but I'm trying to keep my distance because I don't want to fall in love with someone who's doing.
Okay.
As much as that kind of shitty that sounds.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Why fall in love with a character that has to die in an episode? The night quickly comes. You've rounded out everything that you need to, and you know on the next day, it was a day and a half before he was supposed to be put to death, or there would be an attack on the city.
Yep.
When you arrive at the bathhouse, Ulhime isn't around. It's largely none the wiser, and you notice that the bathhouse is fairly vacant. There is no Rahk. There is no Ulhime. Jakob has still not made it back. Cort isn't there either.
I'd probably give a good look around to see if there was anything that had changed or any notes left or anything. Anything of note that was different about the place since I was there last. And I figure nothing really would happen. So.
No, everything appears to be as normal. Status quo of sorts.
Yeah. So, I wouldn't seek them out. I just assume they probably went to the tankard because that's where they always are.
Okay.
And, I'd head to go out back. I'll hop out back and we'll be off.
Okay. You move to the rear side of the building, where you are used to seeing a small steel shed that has been placed against the building. Firelight flickers from within inside, where the cracks and crevices release heat and light. The door stands open. A figure leans against the metal slab that was, quote-unquote, a door. He is leaning on what looks to be one leg, and the rest seems to be underneath him. And for all intents and purposes out of game, it's Malgrim.
Yeah.
He sees you.
Hello.
Ma'am.
Is Dugobras in?
He motions for you inside.
I'd step through unless he wanted to stop me further.
No. When you step inside, Dugobras is uncharacteristically trying on clothes. He's wearing a robe. You've never seen this before. It doesn't really seem to make much sense, but after first glances, it looks like it is funerary attire.
I'm familiar.
It's all very grim. Seeing someone pick out their own funerary attire, knowing that their end is before them. He doesn't notice you. Kind of outstretches his arms a few times. You can see, like, you're seeing from the back, and he's trying to let them loosely fall, but they kind of crinkle and crumple up. Ugh. He's pulling multiple directions. Nothing seems to be lining up just right. Before
I'm just gonna watch.
He expires of sorts. You hear this almost release of air, a gasp from frustration, exasperation of sorts, and he slumps in his shoulders and arms, and he turns, placing his ass on what looks to be the closest thing to a bed. And it's when he notices you.
How long have you been here?
Not very long. Long enough to see you struggle a little bit, but Not too long.
If a fire giant could blush, he might.
I'm gonna take a step forward and just try and, unruffle his clothes a little bit. I figured you'd look better in red than this eggshell? I don't know what color this is.
I do not like it.
Then why wear it? I understand it's funeral attire, but it's not fitting for you.
It was a gift from Ulhime. He saw to it that I had my appropriate attire.
That's rather grim.
Should I be wearing something else? Something different?
I would just rather you died comfortably and then got changed into funeral attire so that people could see you afterwards. That's typically what I think the funeral attire was for. Not so much having to choose out your own wear for once you're dead. Maybe that's just my view, but it just seems a little grim having to choose the last thing you ever wear.
I never fully accepted mortality. So, grim as it may be, I posture for accommodation. I seek normality. Is this normal? Should I find something different?
It's normal for humans. I don't really know funeral customs for fire giants. I can't say I've ever witnessed a fire giant funeral. I know it differs from place to place, and frankly, I'd want what was most comfortable for you.
Well, I am only fire giant in blood. I am something different. Where I'm from, when we die, we are smoted. Our flame turned to ash. Our cinders burn no more. I still feel that I failed you.
Don't. I inquired about the dagger, and I understood that, from what I'm told, it will be returning to me shortly. I don't know by what means, though.
Not by my means. Should I be weary of death?
Do you know that you're going to die?
I do.
Then I don't think you should worry about it. It's tough to accept it. It's not something anyone wants to just accept, that they're gonna be... their life will be over. It's not something easy to understand or grasp, but if you'd like, I can arrange for funeral customs. Since now I am at least current head of the Church of Ouijas, I can ensure that her blessing will grant you safe passage to the afterlife. Or whatever happens after you pass.
What if I do not believe in what is next? This afterlife that you speak of? Then
we can do it your way. I want you to be most comfortable before you pass, and I'll see to it that whatever that takes is what we will accomplish. And frankly, I figured Ulhime would be taking charge of it, but I don't know where he is. Or the rest of the flurry, frankly.
Okay. You've come at such a late hour. You've spoken to him now and have been speaking to him for such a time. I need to know what or how long we see Cort and Rahk staying at the establishment, at the Tip Tankard. Will you just be like having a nice dinner? Will you find yourselves trying to move back to the bathhouse at a realistic time? What does this look like?
I think we'd probably stay for dinner. Maybe just stay afterwards in the tavern, but we wouldn't stay there overnight, that's for sure.
Okay.
Because we already have our own resting place. So we'd probably come back somewhere around nighttime.
Okay.
Assuming like maybe 10 or 11-ish,
Sure.
something like that.
Enjoying the night air for both of you, pushing forward back after a meal, a few drinks, knowing that some of you are going to be forced to make a very difficult decision. I don't really know if Rahk is aware of what's happening with Dugobras, as he is still a very recent arrival to the town. But you haven't seen hide nor hair of Ulhime. He's just been gone.
Yeah. Knowing Ulhime, because he just kind of disappears like this all the time.
He has actually done this a few times in the past, yes.
He did it just the other day when I was like, hey, yo, man, we gotta talk. There is a guy, he wants to stab you, and he was like, yo, dog, look, I got this, I can handle this, and then he fucking made him even more angry. So Cort would probably... It's probably closer to assuming that Ronald will come back on his own. Ulhime will be back, hopefully before the allotted deadline. But the last time I saw him, he was kind of blacked out with worms crawling in and out of him. But no one seems to have thinking that he was taken, so that's good.
Well, before we hop into that, I just wanted to thank Tales from the Grim for raiding us like 7 minutes ago. Thank you guys very much. If you're still lurking about, also Shadowcasters Network. Welcome in Oz and crew. If it is Oz, I'm assuming it is. But if it isn't, welcome in everybody. Thank you guys for dropping in and raiding us tonight. We're having a bit of a heartfelt scenario. An NPC by the name of Dugobras is finding himself in a situation where he has reached the end of his life. And it's been an agreement that his life will be put to an end, but it's challenging. And they're still trying to figure out who's going to do it and how it's going to happen.
It's going to be Ronald with the candlestick in the foyer.
I really hope not. It's going to make for a bizarre experience with a fire giant.
It just sucks that he has to be killed before I can make it back to the city.
Yeah.
Because Jakob would not happily do it, but he would definitely be able to pull it off.
You don't have to lie. You'd be happy.
No. He wouldn't be happy because he hasn't had an opportunity to go ahead and try and facilitate his services or anything like that. He just knows that Dugobras means something to everyone else.
So you want to murder him, take away his leg.
He hasn't had an opportunity to actually get to know Dugobras.
Cort doesn't know him all too well either.
At this point, Thelsa is going to do it because I don't think anyone else wants to. And it's in Weejos's regime to escort or prepare funeral services of the church. Yeah, she's got the death aspect as a deity, but it's not killing, it's more like, yeah, Karen did.
It's not murder, it's introduction into the other side.
Yeah. It's safe passage.
So Rahk,
yes,
Cort,
it's moving into the fast lane.
You return to the bathhouse, and this is where you'll find that the light that flickers from the rear side seems to be a bit more boisterous than normal. And you can just faintly overhear talking, which is fairly different, I would say. Normally, Malgrim doesn't speak a whole lot, and Dugabras tends to keep to himself. Do you venture off to investigate?
Yeah, Cort would.
Okay. Does Rahk?
Cort would,
Yeah, I'll follow Cort.
Sure. You make it to the rear side of the building, and Malgrim is waiting in the door. The hobgoblin sees you, and he rises, realizing that it's now you, and he steps out of the way of the door.
Cort would just kind of give him a quick wave, and would I be able to see Dougalbro through the doorway?
Yeah, when you move to the door, you can see something a little different. You see Dugabras is sitting on his bed, and he's resting in what looks to be localized funerary attire. And standing in front of him, sort of picking at the clothes and kind of like pulling it side to side, is Thelsa. You recognize her from anywhere. And she seems to be trying to adjust it.
Oh, Thelsa, you're back. Mr. Dougalbar, are you feeling okay?
You can see, Thelsa, that from his face, he's a bit remiss to answer. Do you say anything for him, or do you...
Yeah, I just turn and say, he's a bit worried. Saddened. He's not feeling the best at the moment.
Oh, well, I hope you feel better.
He just nods. Rahk, you're also standing in the door. And you witness this, which admittedly is a bit bizarre. To make a robe of this size to fit a man of the stature, it's more akin to what you would expect of like a king-size bedsheet than just traditional linen. It looks very odd on him, and it still stains in places that you can see like bits of what looks to be an orangish-style blood almost sort of seep through the upper shoulder. It's only been a few days since the attack, and, well, he heals a little differently than most. Thelsa stands.
Yes, I'm back. I was visiting a place I was interested in, and then
I heard it was the Demon Scar.
Yes, I went to visit the Demon Scar. It's a pretty shitty place.
I would imagine so, with all the demons around it.
Well, you know, as long as you don't attack them, they won't attack back.
Have you seen Ulhime?
I have not.
I haven't seen him all morning, and the last time I saw him was when he blacked out here talking to Dougalbra.
Nope. I have been at the church for the past few days, doing study. Aside from that, I came back and everyone was gone.
Is that portal still there, by the way?
No, the port is closed.
Okay.
You'll need to find someone who can do interdimensional travel. If you'd like to get back. Interdimensional trampling.
Trampolines are the best way to go across dimensions. We all know this.
Definitely.
You guys wouldn't have happened to seen your master's old sword?
No, I haven't seen it since. Cort's gonna try to think back because it's actually been a while since he's seen it.
You think you have seen it?
Have I?
When you drug the body of Ulhime into his resting place, you saw the hilt of the blade, and you thought for certain that was it, but you didn't quite see the rest of the weapon.
Then Cort would say, I think I saw Ulhime with it, but it could have just been his weapon, but the handle looked kind of like my sword.
I'm going to turn back to Dugabras and just put a hand on his shoulder and say, see, it'll be with me soon. You have not
Jesus
failed me.
fucking Christ.
And turn back to Cort and say, Dugabras was fashioning the weapon for me. And it was lost or taken, and he's been a bit of a mess about it. I'm just going to kind of poke at Dugabras, try and lighten the situation a little bit instead of everyone crying. But once it was taken, I have been looking for it since, and went and saw Fables, and she told me that it was on its way back to me, and that was the best I had. So now I am hoping Ulhime has it wherever he is at.
And then his voice,
Wherever he is.
his voice breaks the silence from behind you.
So who will it be? Who will smote this flame?
Cort's gonna kind of look at the floor.
Will it be Ulhime? Or one of you?
I think Ulhime was preparing for it, but if he does not show, then I will.
Was the guard captain ever found?
No, we haven't found him yet. And I asked Charlie about it, and he said Masasha said that Klaus isn't coming back.
Well, when you see the guard captain, tell him he owes me quite a debt.
Sure. Whenever we find him, I'll make sure he knows.
And that any may be pointed directly here. Any coin owed will be given to those that remain here.
Cort will nod his head.
I shall be resting soon, but I wanted to thank you for not turning me away. I know that I worked alongside that demon. But a blacksmith does as he must. And I believe everyone deserves a chance to live.
He scratches at his face.
And if you'll give me reprieve, I will rest this night.
Cort will bow his head and leave the shed.
Okay.
I would hold on a minute and wait and ask one more thing before I had taken. I have one thing to inquire prior to my leaving that I don't know where I could find the information. The stone, the soul ore that you had created for Ulhime and for Naphtatoran, how does one go about destroying that if he is to wreak havoc upon the city? I need to see to it that he is come to an end, and I don't understand fully how it works.
The ore was shaped by elemental fire, by the leader's fire. In order to break it back down, you must use the hottest flame from the elemental plane. And I have no more.
I understand. And I might be paying visit to your plane soon. I hope.
You would be doing him a great service. He still believes that my actions are a mistake. But even a demon still deserves a chance at life.
I believe he does as well. I just don't believe he deserves a chance at eternal life, or a second life, or coming back and taking the lives of the many for who knows what choice. I understand you did.
You will not come out ahead in this trade. He is consuming as the flame does. There is a reason that he leads as his fire burns brightest.
Then do you know how or what can help?
Just prepare to lose. When you accept loss and you meet his bidding, it is then that he will give unto you his flame.
I'm just gonna nod slowly. I understand. Rest tonight, and we shall talk further in the morning about what is to come.
Well, you know that there is one of two ways that you can acquire this flame. Because you've always known that there was a second way. The first way is to just do as he's asked. Whatever it is that he acquires or requires of you to do so, you do to the T, and he will likely impart upon you some of the flame. Or you could try to fight him.
Yeah.
Phantasmal Killer, go.
Good luck.
Yeah, well, there are things that are immune to death effects, and like undead and undead dragons and a lot of creatures. And frankly, I don't know if he is or what he is, but if he's got a soul ore, I've got a good feeling he can't just be killed. That's not how that works.
Do you ask him? Do you ask Dugobras?
Yeah. What were to happen if he was cast upon by some sort of strong death spell? A spell that would instantly kill. Would he die?
His fire would consume the magic. You are still fledgling compared to this flame.
I don't expect to overcome the flame. I just want to overcome the vessel. And then while the vessel is reborn, reconstructed.
There is no second life. We do not possess the soul ore. It is not something that the flame are briefed with. When we die, there is no more. We fall to cinder and ash, and we fade unto the wind. Those who have stood before him have all fallen. Choose your fights. This is not one I think you'll win.
I don't know, but frankly, I believe you. I don't think we can win, and I think we're the only chance Cauldron's got, though.
Do you have anything else? You know that you have tomorrow. Tomorrow is the day that Dugobras must be put to death.
Nope. I'd just let him get a good night's rest, and I'd probably go searching through Ulhime's things if he left anything at the bathhouse and anywhere I could go to the Athame. Even maybe go so far as trying to find someone this late at night who could scry for it, because I'm not capable.
Sure. In this hour, you're not really going to find a whole lot. Most of his
Yeah.
belongings, at least of importance, are upon his person. Anything that is just mundane, or it is a magical item that he's not going to be using, still probably sitting at the side where he leaves most of his belongings as is. As far as scrying goes, I actually believe that the mirror cracked.
Yeah,
You are correct.
the one they were using had cracked. I was just hoping that I could find someone in town but
Who could?
it's way too late for anyone.
Yeah, it's pretty late. It's pretty late in the evening. You're right.
I might go visit Charlie, because I know that they're up rather late.
Are you going to be here next week? I think you are.
I don't remember.
I think your off time is the 23rd when you have to be at work.
I'm gonna miss August 21st.
Yeah, that's right. 21st. Okay. Yep. Then we will have to tackle that for you next session.
Okay.
We're going to round out with Sniper. Your night came and went very quickly. You
Sweet.
Climb back abroad your horse, your roundsy of sorts, and you and Marion will be on your way. You have to strap him back into the horse again. Do you have anything to say, knowing that you're about 3 days out?
Not really. I
Okay.
mean, I hate to say it, his mind is mostly driven on why he's seen a god and why that god is telling him that his most noble dwarven friend is falling to the wayside and failing, and how he can go ahead and fix it.
Sure. So
him and Marion have had a couple days on the road together already, and they've pretty much gone through all the small talk.
Yeah. That makes sense. Okay. Good. Then we're just going to expedite your process. You'll be arriving back in Cauldron in 3 days' time. What I need to know is who is going to be seeing to the death of Dugobras exactly, if anybody will be in attendance aside from Jakob, because Ulhime will not be there.
The Ulhime not being there, it falls to Thelsa.
Will you be there to assist or to...
Cort would be there.
Okay.
Would
Rahk be there as well, or are you going to avoid the situation?
Rahk will be there, but only as a onlooker.
Okay. All right. Then, when we start next session, it will begin with the pyre. And this is going to be the event for Dugobras. But I'm going to need to know what you guys wish to do for the next few days until we receive the return of Jakob. So in that time, in the next few days, out of game, you should probably be thinking about what your characters will be accomplishing in the next 3 days. I've already talked with Ronald, so he knows exactly what's going to be happening with his character. He's very well aware. I'm not really sure when we're going to be getting Ronald back. It's either a session or 2 sessions from now. But he will be back. He'll be returning. He's just got some things going on. And he's given me an idea of the things that he wishes to accomplish on the evenings that we're supposed to be playing. So, the night before Dugobras' death, and as we end tonight's session, I just want to see where you guys thought that this was going to be going. Did you think that you would be able to, even if you were playing a different character at the time, save Dugobras?
No, I don't think so. After we got the warning that he was dying, I figured that was pretty ultimate.
I don't think there's a way we can strike a deal with the fire giants because of how important I know funeral rites are and the order they live by.
Also, the fact of the crime that he committed to get kicked out is kind of pretty big.
Yeah. They're not just going to overlook it, in my eyes at least, just because, I don't know, there's not really anything we can offer.
We can offer our services, but there's only so much that fire giants want from humans that would make them forgive fucking...
You have to bear in mind, they are not actually fire giants. They are literally elementals.
Fire elementals.
Yeah, they're fire elementals.
It's just that Dugobras' material form was a fire giant.
Fire giant,
yeah.
But like that's hard to argue with them and be like, yo, we can do your laundry if you let our bro live.
Yeah, there's not much in the way of wiggle room there.
Yeah, so it seemed pretty definite.
Go ahead.
Honestly, I don't think there was ever going to be an opportunity, and I don't think this was ever designed to have an opportunity to save Dougal Bras. I think this is kind of one of those encounters where no matter what, the NPC is going to die. It's just how they get to that point, and whether or not they can resolve, or if the player can help resolve some issues that led up to that point.
How likely would it be that before the funeral for Dougal Boss, I can go and talk to the whoever of the elemental plane, just so that I can let them know that he is going to die within the day, and
I mean, it's feasible.
The city.
It's definitely feasible, but it's going to be one of those things that you are going to have to figure out a way, a means of actually getting there. If Ulhime were actually here, you could probably get there, but that doesn't really mean a whole lot, at least right now. So you might be able to. You're just going to have to find someone who can get you there.
Yep. I'd probably talk to Dougal Bras about it and then prepare his funeral in the afternoon.
Okay. All right. And that's going to mark the end of tonight's stream. But I still want to open the floor up and give everybody here an opportunity to talk to the players. If you have any concerns or questions, maybe you have some things that you want to know, like why now of all times are we seeing these things happening? Or what's the expectations of Thelsa? Like, why has she suddenly become a much holier person? Is Rahk going to suddenly be like the blank man of the town and just be this bridge troll hero character that nobody really knows why? If there are things that you have to know, then ask away. How was this map made? It was made by the creators of the game.
Jacob, how the fuck are you going to sit down on a normal chair now?
Man
simple.
spread.
I'm just going to constantly do like most guys and just flip the chair around and straddle it. Nah, seriously, at this point, I'm thinking it'd be, worth him just looking around and being like, anybody know how to do a true resurrection? Great.
Look, you could be the first person on this list. I'll bump you right back up to number 1 on my long people of list who want to kill me. You get top spot, you just got to bring me back to life.
I mean, honestly, at this point, without this mask, there is going to be absolutely no point playing this character. Not in Cauldron.
You're terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, this is completely broken at this point.
The mask helps, though.
The mask is the only thing that's keeping me playing them.
I like how you have suddenly changed to this outlook of, well, if my character looks like a demon, then I can't functionally walk through the town, despite the fact that you have a homing beacon of a dwarf that literally glows from his eyes, has a demonic worm-dripping arm, and a holy piece of armor attached to himself, and he just has a shield that can talk to people. And suddenly you're worried about your bent back legs.
No, I'm not worried about the bent black legs. I'm worried about the bent black legs. The fact that he looks more like... Oh, God. What are they again?
Glabrezu.
More like a Glabrezu than a tiefling ever has. It's just... There is no possible way to ever be like, oh, he just looks sick. He was ostracized enough just being a tiefling. Oh, look, it's a devil man. Now it's like...
Man, it could have been a lot worse. I'm going to be honest.
You turned into a Glabrezu.
It could have literally been like we had gone through the tiefling traits and forced you to adapt that. When we were rolling Lily's character, she literally had a whistling navel. That's a thing that tieflings get. Their navels can whistle.
It is something that a tiefling can get.
Yeah.
Yes. If you go, with rolling up all characteristics, including physical deformities.
Well, yeah.
I went with a classic, I went with just a simple, classic tiefling layout. And Yeah, I mean, there's just without the mask, there's going to be absolutely no point of having him try and interact face to face with anything in town.
Well, you've interacted with Kiana. She's not going to be appalled by your legs.
Confused, but not appalled.
Sure, whatever.
I'm not gonna lie, you sound a little salty. It's an ugly color on you. You should change it. It's still just pretend, my friend.
No,
Put your
I
pants
get
on
it.
backwards.
If the kids are hanging around Rahk and punching him, then maybe Jacob won't be able to kill them. Bubber shrug. Perhaps?
I'm
Perhaps?
just waiting for Jacob to kill Chobs, and then for for Rahk to just destroy him, and then nap the Tauren when he inevitably comes over.
I want to know
Just his blood rage.
if Rahk is going to go back and see Charlie. No, definitely not. Definitely not. Not the case. He's not going to go back. There's no appropriate amount of money. Not even happening a little bit. Rahk is probably the closest, interestingly enough, the closest that we've seen to Will
He's a straight
thus
man.
far.
Yeah, oh yeah, most definitely. Even more so than Klaus.
Yeah, even more so. And I didn't think that was like honestly feasibly possible, but it's definitely happening.
Same with Thelsa.
Don't you dare touch Chops.
Chubs.
Poor Chops. All right, guys, that's going to make it for us tonight. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you hanging out. Much love to you. Take care of yourself. Stay safe, stay nerdy, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Don't know what we're doing yet. We'll figure it out. Have a good one. Peace. Rowdy.